All right, welcome back everybody. I got a project that I'm trying to work on today, and it's gonna look a little weird because I'm recording the intro after I've already done all the work because somehow I lost half the footage. I don't know what happened, it just happened. But I want to make something custom for the rear end. I'm looking at making a custom diffuser. I'm already doing some exhaust work that I haven't shown on camera yet because I'm waiting to put a whole video together of start to finish instead of just half and half. So it's a little more than what I can do, what I thought I was able to do with the parts and availability that I had, but I'm giving it to someone else for them to do it because they're going to do a better job than what I can do. It's actually going to be sealed, and probably what I was going to do was going to be a complete mess and probably really stupid. So we're moving over to dual exit, which means one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. And I know on the HHRs, this really doesn't look that good the way most people do it, at least in my opinion. But I think the way that I'm gonna do it probably should look okay. I'm kind of biased when it comes to that stuff because of the way the Fiat was set up. I really liked that dual exit design, especially the diffuser I had on the Fiat. It was amazing, loved it. So I'm gonna try to make something different. I already have an idea for it, and once I commit, there's no going back because it requires a lot of cutting. So yeah, let's just let's roll the tape because this is gonna be wild. So my first order of action is just to try to get that first exhaust hole, the one that is factory. I'm gonna try to mirror that on the other side so that way I have the line in the center that I need to cut out, because I don't want to cut too far or too short because then it's gonna look funky. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of measurements. It's gonna be like measure 40 times, go in to cut it, and then question it and measure another 40 times. So probably gonna have to do something like that just to make sure I make this look good. I'm not trying to do just a hack job and make it look like crap just because I want to fit something. No, I want it to look nice. I want it to look clean. I want it to look proper. So I'm gonna measure a bunch of stuff, maybe cut a template or two out of some cardboard of that circle and see if I can get it mirrored up on the other side. Alright, so I got my little template cut out here. Hopefully, I mean, it matches up almost perfectly. It's not going to be like on the money, but that's okay. I just need a rough spot for it. I think I'm going to measure off of these reflectors because that's like the only hard, tangible point. I could try to go to the edge of the bumper, but because it flexes, I want to make sure I get a right spot. So I'm going to see roughly where the outer edge of the template falls with the outer edge of the reflector, and then try to just mirror that over with this side here. Alright, so using my template, I have marks already made that hopefully are in the right spot. I think I'm a little too close to the center, but that's okay. I'd rather be too close to the center than too far out on the corners, because then the whole thing's gonna look wonky. I'm trying to avoid trimming that opposite corner. I want to keep that as stock as possible. I know that doesn't matter in the long run because the whole thing's coming out, but if I don't have to expand that way on the bumper, the better. So I think I'm a little inboard towards the center of the car, but that's okay because then I can always trim it back out later. We're gonna do a lot of measuring on the distances and everything like that once I get this whole thing cut. So I have my base arch here. It's not exact, it needs some fine-tuning, but again, that's why you cut small and then you can expand out. So I think I'm gonna start basically just putting in the line, or at least cutting out this arch here and come down and try to basically just mirror this point, this arch all the way down. So we'll start with the outside. And well, too late to go back now. I'm just kidding. I don't regret anything yet. So I got that outer arch cut roughly. Again, this is all roughness. It's all gonna have to get cleaned up at a later date. Well, later today, that is. But yeah, we're fully split besides one little section. There we go. So now I basically just gotta follow the line across the bumper and knead it up onto the other end. So that's why the tape was there, just to give me an idea of how far. So I'm gonna do some more measuring to make sure I got my distance between where this bump comes down and the line that I want to go for. So I'll measure on the other side first, and then I'll just basically trace that over with the tape and tape it out. Painter's tape is your biggest friend when doing stuff like this, because you can do whatever. It's so easy to make lines, it's easy to mark, it's just overall very easy project to use tape for. So yeah, it's too late to not commit to the bit anymore. So I mocked it up on the car, and quite honestly, I don't think it looks that bad. It could just be me because I like this style of stuff that I'm doing, but I don't think it looks that bad. Obviously I still need to clean it up a little bit. The tape's not gonna stay. But as I suspected, this silver piece is gonna be kind of visible, which is a pain in the butt. So I'm hoping, maybe, potentially, I can, if I do the diffuser properly, it should cover most of this up. This corner might be a problem. But honestly, if it comes down to it, I might cut it out. I don't know if I will. I probably won't, just because that's probably a little more work than I really need to be working at and doing. But, I mean, it necessarily wouldn't be that hard. Just chop this piece out and weld a new piece from up here by the rails. I could possibly do that. Am I going to? Probably not. But if it really bothers me that much, I'll learn how to do it. So personally, I don't think it looks that bad. Especially once we get an exhaust in place and the diffuser in place, I really don't think it's gonna look that. Literally while I was about to start trimming stuff down, I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute, I could just paint it black. If I paint the whole thing black, it won't be as obvious, it won't be as visible. Especially with the diffuser also being black, it should just blend in. I didn't even think about that. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Alright, next day. I got a little bit of trimming left to do on the bumper. You can see I got my tape line still. Just a tiny bit of trimming, and then I'm gonna start cutting some pieces to mock up the diffuser and get kind of a rough idea of what I'm looking at. I think my original design is actually too small. I think I have to go bigger. I think I need another fin. So we're gonna get back to trimming this and then make some templates. Alright, so I got the bumper trimmed up. I got the exhaust semi mocked up. This is just a very, very, very rough mock-up. Obviously it's hanging a little low, but I think we can make this work. This is 100% doable. Like I said, I'm in talks with an exhaust shop. He wanted me to cut the bumper first to get the shape and size and everything that I wanted. And I think I have enough space. There's a lot of extra space on this side and not a lot of space on that side. So I think the whole thing's technically gonna shift over a little bit once, you know, the exhaust guy starts working on it. But I think this will look pretty cool. I honestly am really liking this look. For some reason, it makes the rear end look a little bit wider. I don't know what it is. The Fiat was the same way. There was Fiats that were single exits, and most of those were the non-turbo cars. And the rear end of those just looked kind of shrunken down. But then as soon as you put the dual exits on it, it looks like a wider rear end. There's just something about it that tricks your eye into making it think it's wider than it actually is. So now that I got that kind of placed up, I can kind of center mark where I want the diffuser to sit. And then I can start cutting templates. I have some ideas that I want to work on, but I'm not sure how that's gonna play out yet. I still gotta play with a bunch of stuff. All right, I have the rough idea. I'll give you yeah. So original plan, somewhat along this line, was a 3-piece system in the center and then 2 supports all the way across. However, in light of what I've just put together, I think this bottom support is not going to be necessary. I'm going to get rid of that and I'll just have the main one. And I'm also going to be adding another because this is completely out of scale. These pieces are far too big and, you know, there's nothing, it's not going to work like that. There's going to be too much space. So it's going to be 5 pieces instead of 3. This center one does have a different design than the lefts and rights. And I do want to do some sort of cool little F1 style rain light. I think it's possible. I have the lighting for it. I have just need to make the actual piece that'll hold the rain light in place. So this is what I got. Now, mind you, this is very, very, very rough. This is not at all close to what it's really gonna look like. This is me just trying to figure out, you know, what I need to do. First off, I think it might be a little tall because as you can see, the top's of here and that's the bottom of the bumper. That could change when it's actually on the car because there's a height difference, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have to cut these down a little bit because they're a little tall. So I just need to mirror these 2 over to this side, and then I'm gonna have one bar that runs across the center, but it's gonna mount in from the back, so it won't come all the way out to the edge. It'll probably stop right about here and run all the way through all of them. So I got a little bit of work to do on that, but I think this is on the right track. We'll see what it looks like when it's on the car, but I think I'm on the right track with this. You know what? I honestly think this could come out pretty freaking cool. If I get proper hardware and, you know, obviously it'll all be mounted in correctly. If I do that, this is gonna be awesome. This will be really freaking cool. I think it actually looks really good with dual exits and having the bumper obviously all shaved down, but I think as a whole, if I close this hatch down, I think as a whole, that's a pretty good looking rear end. I honestly think this could be really, really nice. I'm on the fence on if I want to put extensions on either side. I'm probably just going to build this, get it actually built and looking more sturdy, because obviously this is just cardboard, but looking a bit more sturdy. And I low-key think this is going to come out awesome. And yes, I was right. If I paint that the silver thing for the tire holder, if I paint that black, you're not even going to notice it with the diffuser in the way. So I think this is golden. I think I'm on something here. Don't ask me what made me want to do this because I have no idea, but I can't stop smiling with how I think this looks. Now, it may not be your cup of tea, and that is okay. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, not even close, especially for all of the SS community. This is different, very, very different. And with that being said, I think this is a good spot to end it because I gotta wait for all those materials to come in before I cut and make all that. So I'm probably gonna have just its own video just on actually assembling it. I do still have to figure out how I'm going to actually mount it. I don't necessarily want it to be just riveted into the bumper. I think if I do something properly, I can mount it to the crash bar that sits behind the car. So if I do that, then it's gonna be a lot more rigid and sturdy. So I gotta come up with an idea on how I'm gonna get that bracket to work. But I think if I do it right, I measure 400,000 times and I cut once, that'll come out awesome. So I'm really happy with that. And I don't know which one's gonna come first, either the exhaust or the diffuser, just depends on whatever. I also just ordered all of the engine parts to put the car back together, well, to fix it. So that is gonna be its own video. That might be a two-parter because that's gonna be like a full weekend, lots of stuff project. I don't know if it's gonna be two-parter or not. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm actually really happy. I think this is awesome. But if you want to see the build continue on and all that kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and I will catch you guys in the next one.